Welcome viewers once again to this NPTEL course on educational leadership. We are discussing about innovative pedagogies and technology and its role in enhancing the educational effectiveness. So, we have already discussed about the various modes like computer supported collaborative learning, web based learning, all kinds of things. So, now we will discuss about mobile learning, how mobile, and nowadays mobile is a very common instrument, gadget, gadget, and the smartphones are available nowadays, and so it is an it's an educational tool, it's an effective educational tool, and it not only enhances the computational literacy or IT literacy of the children of the young generation, but it has the immense power of downloading the open source of learning materials, all kinds of we can use all kinds of even the games, all kinds of for daily purposes, also for all kinds of daily uses, like for giving the electricity bills to the depositing the money in the banks, all kinds of the transaction, some ration, that means transactions, banking transaction, to all of our day to day transactions, we can have it through mobile phones. So, the mobile the smartphones, mobile and the mobiles handsets are the latest mode of or latest tool of not only learning, but all kinds of our day to day activities. So, it has immense power of disseminating the knowledge, disseminating the information like this. Now, let us discuss about its advantages. So, mobile phones and the tablet computers are enhancing the personal form of learning by connecting across the time space through internet. So, mobile handsets, smartphones and the tablets and the latest gadgets to make our learning more personalized as per our requirement, as per our timing, as per our comfort, as per our need. So, any time when we are free, we can use it, and we can use it for different purposes, not only for educational purposes, for downloading the resources, for communication purposes, for for preparing the learning material purposes, all kinds of the purposes, and across the time and across the space. So, it has given us the flexibility of using it in our convenient time. So, mobile devices, it provides the opportunity to combine the strengths of both the formal and informal learning environment. So, it is such a tool which tries to blend the advantages of formal learning for the formal learning also in the classroom also we can use it, and for informal learning also use it. So, it tries to perfectly blend the advantages of both the formal learning and the informal learning, and direct the instruction and space for the reflection. So, also it gives us some kind of instruction for reflecting on our tasks, for getting the feedback, for knowing our result, the authentic and contextualized learning that can occur in the world outside the schools. So, it can take place within the formal education setup as well as the outside the school setup. We can it can happen in the when we are traveling in the bus or the train, it can happen at home when we are relaxing, it can happen in the office, everywhere it is possible. So, mobile phone is such a instrument, such a technological tool of which can be used for multiple purpose, not only education, but for multiple purpose, A to Z, day to day activities, etc., and it tries to perfectly blend both the formal instructional objectives, instructional goals, as well as the informal educational goals as well. So, through mobile learning, it also another thing, it also advocates for the seamless learning. So, it has added a new concept that is called the seamless learning. Seamless learning means it should be continuous, ongoing, a never ending kind of thing. So, it advocates for this mobile learning, it advocates for the seamless learning, means all kinds of learning should be bound together to make it appear as a continuous learning, lifelong learning or endless learning. So, this seamless learning concept has been added to the mobile learning, and as a result, so this new kind of learning mode is called as the mobile assisted seamless learning. So, MSL, that is mobile assisted seamless learning, is the latest connotation of mobile learning, you can say, which starts the learning activity in the classroom. It formally we may start it through our tablets, like the tablets, children are using the tablets in the classroom for doing the homework, from the for doing the assignments, for using it as a e-book, for completing the task. So, that like in the large classroom with the tablets, when they are completing the assignments, the teacher can instantly evaluate it in her device, So, instantly he can monitor, he can give the feedback to each and every student or those who are engaged in the classroom learning. So, these tablets, these mobiles are the e-books also. It has been used as a e-book, as a assignment tool, as a gadget, as a open source of information, as a instructional tool, like through tablets or through the mobile phones, they are getting the instruction from the teachers. So, it is a learning tool even in the formal classroom setup. It starts with the learning activity in the classroom and continues the discussion throughout through the online, and it is continuous for all the 24/7 timing, and then discussion through online could provide the customized and general experience, like through that means through the online discussion and chat, they can also clarify their doubts, they can ask the questions to the teacher. So, that both the teachers and the students are you can say are online or easily available on the digital mode for 24/7. So, it's even though it has started with the formal education from the classroom situation, but it can go on and on and on in the informal mode, in the digital mode also. So, there is a characteristics of this MSL, that is mobile seamless learning, which is continuous. So, characteristics are, this is the latest connotation of mobile learning. So, it encompasses both the formal and informal learning. As we have already discussed, it is used as a gadget learning tool from the classroom situation itself, but it is a continuous, you can say it is a lifelong tool, continuous tool, that is you can keep it with yourself for all kinds of educational activities. So, it encompasses both the formal and informal setup. It is personalized as well as social learning. Whenever it is required, you can use it for your own personal learning and performance, but at the same time for social networking, for social connectivity, for social learning, also group learning, collaborative learning, you can also use it. It can be used across the time, across the locations, there is no restriction. That means, it is a life saving, it is a lifelong tool you are keeping with yourself for 24/7 hours. That means, you cannot, like the wristwatch, or you can say this is it's a kind of tool that you attach to your body, you keep it to yourself. It's a kind like, it cannot be, that means inseparable tool that you keep with yourself. So, that is why with the internet connectivity, you can use it across the time, across the location, in whichever mode you want to use it. So, it is ubiquitous access to learning resources, or both you can have the online data and offline data. You can save the offline data through the storage capacity, through the SD card, and you can have the online opportunity to have the easy accesses with the all resources available. So, it can give you the access to both the online and offline data, encompass both the physical and the digital world. Physically, suppose for example, when you are traveling to a new place, you can use all the kinds of the new Google Maps, Google I don't know, Google Google you can say Google network for all kinds of the for tracking the trains and the vehicles, or the for the airplane, for flight, etc. You can connect to anything you require, like nowadays you can call to different kinds of taxi services, Uber, and all kinds of then you can call you can call for the, even for the food also, you can use your phone for the home delivery kind of things, for travel, for food, for health facilities, for emergency facilities, for even for calling the police also. So, all kinds of the day-to-day activities you can use it through mobile phones. So, it encompasses both the physical as well as the world. So, it also fulfills your needs in the physical world, in the real world, as well as in the digital world. To combine the use of multiple devices. So, it combines the multiple use of, like you can connect it to the desktop computer, you can use it for the mobile phone, tablets, whiteboards, you can connect it to all kinds of devices. so seamless switching between multiple learning tasks, data analytics to communication. So this kind of MSL it helps us in switching between. You can switch over, it can move from one mode to another mode. Like right now you can engage yourself in data analysis, next mode you can switch over to communication, next mode you can switch over to completing the assignment, next mode you can switch over to knowing your health records. So everywhere for knowledge synthesis also you can involve the multiple levels of thinking and learning. If you want to analyze some of the things, you can use the various tools and techniques available in the Google Play Store or the gadget store, etc. You can use it for analytical thinking, analytical purpose, or synthesizing something, or discovering or identifying something new, some innovative ideas. If you want to verify it, you can instantly get the feedback. So in this way, this mobile seamless learning, it encompasses the multiple pedagogical and learning activity models. So students learn more effectively, build their own understanding, make the learning choices, better experience, more personalized learning. So when the students, they extensively use it, they can use it flexibly for different purposes. Sometimes they use it for the personal use, that means to make their learning more personalized kind of. Sometimes they use it for collaborative learning, if they want to collaborate with other peers, other other group members to complete an assignment, or they can connect to the teachers directly, tutors directly for clarifying their doubts. They can connect to anybody and everybody within this world through this mobile seamless learning, and experience the whole learning situation in a different way. So next another mode of innovative pedagogy is called the flipped classroom. So flipped classroom is again combines this kind of digital platform as well as the face-to-face communication. So this flipped classroom is a pedagogical method, pedagogical technique which have been popularized by especially by the Khan Academy. Salman Khan's Khan Academy has actually popularized this concept of, actually it's a pedagogical concept, it's an innovative pedagogical concept, and the Khan Academy has actually popularized this concept by YouTube, by introducing its YouTube instructional videos to popularize this notion of flipped classroom. When we are talking about the having access 24/7 access to open source of learning materials, so this has introduced this flipped classroom method. Like if you have the access, then you go through the learning materials beforehand, then come to the classroom, physical classroom, for the more discussion and hands-on activities. So that is actually the that means the reverse classroom, the reverse teaching. This is the concept of this flipped classroom. The students watch the videotapes lectures at home. So whatever the learning resources are available, like Khan Academy has already uploaded so many YouTube videos on the different subject contents, like secondary level school subject contents on different topics, on different. So any child, any student can have an access to this content, so they can easily go through this content at home in their free time. And when they come to the classroom, so the students watch the video lectures at home, they use the class time for further discussion, for peer collaboration, for hands-on activities, for interactive learning, for discussion, or they may ask the tutors many questions, or the tutor can also ask many questions, for making the classroom more interactive to enhance the learning and skills. It is not just what is given in the video tapes or the prescribed study materials, but they can go beyond. So it also facilitates the constructive learning, in the sense that not only they are confined to the content which has been given to them, but they go beyond it. They start thinking critically, they start thinking creatively, imagining and adding something new. So that is it facilitates the constructive learning mode. Like not only the students, they go through the open source of learning material, but they also create, they also generate the knowledge, they also construct the learning and reconstruct, construct and generate the learning and disseminate the knowledge among the members. So in some classes, what happens, some cases students could be provided with the study material. Like suppose for example, for the children, those who do not have the access to this suppose internet connectivity, even in some of the schools, those who do not have the access to internet connectivity, in that case also we can use a flipped classroom, like by providing them the study materials, print materials, print materials specially designed by the tutor or the mentor, with new concepts, new ideas, additional or supplementary things, and the pictures, and some of the diagrams, graphs, etc. So, these print materials can also be prepared by the tutor and a mentor. It can be given to the children beforehand, so that they can go through it at home, and like in hard copy material, and they are instructed to come to the class with the prior preparation of these study materials, and they can continue further discussion and hands on activity in the real classroom situation for enhancing their subject knowledge or the domain knowledge. So, during the class hours, what happens, the teacher clarifies the doubts. So, here again this flipped classroom method is the best method for the enhancing the students engagement, because otherwise in the didactic method, in a lecture method, or even though the teacher is making effort to listen them, to listen to her, and to, that means, focus their attention to understand the materials, but he cannot, the teacher cannot control their attention span, because after every 10 minutes the students attention span it switches to something else, some other topic. So, in order to control their attention, or to that means regulate their attention or perception, or so it is very important to engage them. So, it is the best method of engaging the children for active learning, but however, one aspect is that we have to motivate them to go through the materials beforehand. So what happens, actually, young children, they are not too responsible or very much self motivated to go through the materials at home, but for that reason, for young children, the teacher has to motivate them to go through the material, but otherwise it is a very successful method of learning and engagement for the students as well in the school level. So, the teacher in order to engage them, the teacher asks them the questions, facilitate the group discussions. The whole class can be divided into subgroup, into different small groups with 5 and 6 members. They can be given different assignments or any topic to be discussed, and any kind of problem to be solved. So, to keep them engaged in the active learning through peer instruction, sometimes the good students, they can clarify it, they can tutor, that is peer tutoring can also be introduced. So, through peer instruction, peer tutoring, the students, the weaker students, they can also be improve, or they can be better they can learn the things better in a better way. So, in this way, peer instruction, peer tutoring new concept can also be added sometimes. Then they can be provided some kind of hands on experiences, and from time to time they can be given the feedback. So, here the tutor acts as a facilitator. He just move on and supervises what each group are doing, how they are engaged in, and monitor, supervise, give them the feedback, facilitate the learning. So, in this process they can be made the self learner, self dependent, self reliant. So, in order to motivate the students to go through the material beforehand and to make them self reliant, self motivated, or independent learner, this is the best method, I think, even for the school children, and for the adult learner it is also there. So, after the class, the teacher evaluates their project works. So, project works, assignments, whatever the teacher has given them in terms of group assignments, problem solving task, or the topics, etc., evaluates the projects, assignments, gives them the feedback, and encourage them for future learning. Maybe that in continuation of that subject content or the topic, he can give them the future some ideas, that you go through these materials. So, these are the open source of things, these are the things you go, and further you go beyond this topic, and or you can think of some of the other application oriented things, interdisciplinary things, to go beyond that things. So, some platforms are already available, like iTunes U. It offers the full courses from MIT and Stanford University on this flip content. So, instructors can also create the courses for the iPad using iTunes U courses manager. Like if you would like to develop some course content for the flipped classroom mode, for a special category of target groups, like for your students, for your children, you can also design this flipped content through these platforms, So, with the help of this software, with the help of this digital platform, the tutors, the mentors, the subject teachers, they can also develop the flip material on their own by taking all the resources and design it and use it for the children or for their students. So, another concept is that learning through virtual world. It is the, you can say, you can say, when you talk about the simulation, when we talk about artificial intelligence, like how we can create a virtual world which is very much similar to the physical world, but in the but it is different. It is in the simulated mode, it is in the virtual setup, but it is very much like the physical world. So, that is the learning through virtual world. Nowadays all kinds of movies are there, 3D movies, 3-dimensional movies, which gives us a kind of experience, a sense, feeling of as if you are a part of that movie, as if you are a character of that movie, and you are not only seeing it, visualizing it, seeing it and hearing it, but you are completely immersed in that environment, you are experiencing it. Okay. So, that is the reality of the virtual world, that is learning through virtual world, being a part of that world, virtual world. How are you learning, how do you learn? So, that is, it is the through the immersion process, it is the through the immersion process. So, virtual worlds are the fastest growing online communities. Most of the computer games, video games are now being designed to give give the experience of this virtual world, 3D 3 dimensions virtual experience through the immersion technique, etc. So, this can also be used for the learning purpose also, like the virtual lab. We are talking about the virtual lab. The students can themselves conduct the different kinds of experiments in the virtual world through by having the access to different kinds of components, laboratory components. So, they can really demonstrate, they can really perform, they can really see and observe how the teacher is doing, and they can themselves experiment on the virtual lab. So, virtual labs are the fastest growing online communities, and then it can be defined as a synchronous persistent network of the people. It is synchronous, it takes place simultaneously, and is a result of the persistent networking of the people. You might have seen some of the movies like Avatar is the movies, the 3-dimensional movies. So, here the characters are being called as the avatars, like which then facilitated by the networked computers. So, it is the result of a set of number of computers network, and it is the result of that computer network that that represents that kind of virtual world where people are connected through the network, and they are represented by the various characters called the avatars. So, learning through virtual world gives the psychological feeling of immersion, like the 3D, like you have not only you are experiencing the 2-dimensional feeling, but the 3-dimensional feeling, a feeling of immersion, the subjective sense of having the comprehensive realistic experience, as if you are you are deeply experiencing what is actually happening in this situation. So, that is in most of the in this SL World games, these Disney World games, and this is different kinds of movies, 3D movies, it gives us a sense of feeling of immersion or realistic experience that we are going through to that phase, through that computer networks, through the virtual world experiences, that one is not physical, even though one is not physically located, but he can experience this immersion. So, learning in the virtual world, there are different kinds of multiplayer video games are also there. So, for example, some of examples are World of Warcraft are designed to help to sell the physical products, etc. Similarly, through this virtual world, some kind of games can also be designed, like World of Warcraft. It is again, these are designed to sell the physical products and to increase the brand loyalty. Similarly, other games are also like these like Club Penguin, Neopets, Wave King of Disney company. So, some of the multiplayer video games have been designed in this 3D mode and have been popularized for selling the products as well. The virtual worlds are also having the educational potential as well, like that is ECO, MUV, Eco Move, Quest Atlantis, River City. These are also some of the these virtual world or video multiplayer video games which has the educational content also, which can enhance the knowledge and information in education also. So, it enables the participants to simulate the socio-economic phenomenon as well as run the experiments to manipulate the micro worlds. So, these games have been designed not only to give you 3D experience, real life realistic experience, but you can also manipulate. You can also manipulate some of the features and observe its outcome. You can so you can also manipulate some of the components in the micro world as well as having the experience of a realistic world. So, some of the socio-economic phenomenons can be well taught through, well educated through this kind of multiplayer video games. So, it enables the participants to simulate the socio-economic phenomenon as well as run the experiments, and the features of the simulation and visualization can potentially support the form of experiential learning. So, I can say it is also a form of experiential learning in the digital mode. So, the simulation, this kind of simulation and visualization can, these two components have been embedded to give a realistic experience, or it is a to make this experiential learning mode more effective. So, the immersive nature of the virtual world support the social interaction and identity exploration as a form of the legitimate participation in the community. So, when the participants, when the students are engaged in this virtual world, so this immersive nature of these games, it helps them not only in social interactions, but to explore their own identity, explore their legitimate participation in the learning community, how do they collaborate, how. So, they also explore their own identities and to get the legitimate participation in the learning communities among the virtual world members. So, similarly, the virtual world level to be highly engaging and motivating, and it allows the user to decide how to explore the world. As in this kind of learning, the player has immense, he has the freedom and opportunity to explore his own identity. So, it is highly engaging and it is highly motivating and allows the learner to explore the environment. That means to go on to explore out of curiosity, what next, what it happens, how it happens, why it happens, all kinds of the questions you can verify. The learning through this mode also increases the self efficacy, because not only they become very self sufficient or techno savvy or their digital fluency increases, but it also improves the science of inquiry skills. That means the inquisitive skill, science inquiry skills, and always they are curious to explore the answers for different kind of questions, inquisitive mindset, to experiment with the new strategies, for communication and collaboration, and then transfer this to the real world classrooms. So, they go on experimenting with the new techniques, new strategies to explore what happens, and they just want to simulate the whole thing, the similar thing in the real world context also. So, it not only actively engages them in the learning, but it also helps them in enhancing their cognitive skills, like in terms of higher order thinking, in terms of the creativity, imagination, fantasy, and to again to verify, test it, examine it in the real life context. So, this kind of world also, virtual world, also provide the educators with a new way of assessing the way to assess the learning in authentic, automated and embedded ways. Again, it also gives the immense challenge and opportunity to the tutors to verify, to evaluate the learning process, whether it is authentic or not, whether it is automated or embedded in the ways, and then provide the feedback to the students, to the parents. So, they can also assess their performance from different dimensions and also give their most accurate feedback to the stakeholders. So, it can be designed for use in the schools, outside the schools, in the hybrid mode, again in the blending mode, in the hybrid mode, which can provide the data about the learning that can be used to understand the levels of students engagement and patterns of inquiry. Like when the it is in the hybrid mode, you can blend it, this virtual world, with the real life real physical classroom situation. So, you can verify the level of engagement of the students, you can verify the level of their inquiry skills, like at what level, what type of questions they are asking, what type of things they are trying to examine. So, you can understand the student's level of understanding, his inquiry skills, and their level of engagements. So, from which you can also identify, you can also predict their motivation, their 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 engagement, their self dependentness, and their, even you can also diagnose their problems in maybe in attention or focusing the attention, or the or sticking to the assignments, or their patience, their tolerance, or their gratification, all kinds of things. So, it can provide both the micro and the macro lenses for studying and fostering the learning. So, it also, like like the cricket games, cricket games, or all kinds of the outdoor games, when that means when the highlights goes on, when go through the flashbacks, as they analyze it from different dimensions, from different angles, through going through the flashback reports, etc. Similarly, this virtual world also, this kind of mode of learning can also gives us both the access to the micro lens and the macro lens, and so that we can verify, we can the learning behavior, the study habits, as well as we can also foster the children's learning behavior and learning skills. Now, here we stop right now. In the next session, we will start another pedagogical method. Now, thank you very much for patiently listening to this. Thank you.